Hello, this is Eric of Not Bios, and welcome to my review of the Vital USB Hub 7 ports and USB 3.0. Of course, 3.0 gives you a lot more power usage, well, 3 times the power usage of 2.0, and not only that, well, the hub itself has on-off switches, so you can turn off each and every device individually and turn it on individually, which is very useful. It has external power and connects to, of course, to your computer and has an included cable. But now, let's get started. So before we get too far, compatibility, well, it's compatible with Windows 7, 8, 10, and the Mac operating system. Well, if you saw my review, of course, on a Monster RGB cable, for RGB strips that is, you'll see that I had a USB 2.0 hub, which is a maximum 2.5 watts. But the problem is, yeah, sure, the strips are rated for 2.5 watts each, but when you come down to size, it shouldn't exceed that. However, there's a remote control, and of course that means a receiver I/O, which means it'll exceed 2.5 watts. So the Vital USB 3.0 hub, what are the different aspects of it? Well, you got your power connection and you got your USB that connects right here. You have on-off switches, so each and every port can be switched on or off individually, which happens to be quite nice. And lights to tell you, well, to tell you which one's on or off. Simple. Nothing too complicated. All USB 3.0 throughout. Now, the USB cable included with it is about 48 inches, which happens to be 1 meter long. USB 3.0 to your connection to your device itself. If you actually use a Samsung Note 4 or such, you actually have this same type of USB connection. So this connects right here on the end, slides in, nice simple. Then you got your power connection. This power connector is 5 volts, 2 amps. 5 volts plus 2 amps equals 10 watts. So let's say this uses itself about 2 watts power loss right here. That means that the USB port on your computer is about 7.5 watts minus the 10 watts on here being 8. And then we got, was it 15.5? Let's call it 15 watts total to use, which happens to be, well, better than your computer. Now, this itself is about 53 inches. So it makes about 1.333 meters in terms of length. This particular one is the Canadian American type version. So your European version will be a different connection type plug. So you might wonder, how do you know if this is connected? Well, I'm going to see a little light in just here a moment. So let's connect this. And we've got a little light right there. Now I'm going to connect the power. Whether the power is connected or not, well, you can't see through the slot. In fact, I wonder if it connects by USB. Yes, it has power, but mind you, this is drawing from the power of your computer without the power connected. So you're going to get more usability, of course, having the actual power connected externally. And that's kind of important for especially a hub that has so many ports on it. Now I'm going to stick this on my desk. You might think, well, what if I don't have the power connected? Can I run anything? I wonder that myself. That is a good question. So I'm going to start connecting some of my RGB lighting here. Let's see, I'll connect 2 of them right now. Connect my mouse pad. Does it turn on? Well, I'll be goshed. And connect one of my RGB lights, you can see. So yes, it does work without the power connection. That answers your question and answers my question. Question is, can I play a Blu-ray movie? Well, I guess I'll try that. I have no clue. So let's grab a movie to put in the drive. I'm not going to play this movie. I'm simply going to let it run so it shows the preview screen. Because copyright. Copyright, copyright, copyright. And that's something I have to concern myself with. So now it's in the drive. I am curious, will this read? Oh, it just showed up right here. Bruce Almighty. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm going to play with my player. Good sign so far. And this is my first time trying this. WinDVD Pro 12, okay. Now to see if it plays. We can hear it trying right now. One for wondering, the Blu-ray player I stuck to the wall because then it's out of sight, out of mind. Is it playing? Well, I'll be a cookie. It works. So now I'm wondering, how many more devices can I connect this? Because right now I got my mouse, I got a Blu-ray player that's external, and I'm wondering, can I power my RGB devices? Let's turn this monitor around. Because I split my light strip into 4 different pieces, which of course uses more than 2.5 watts total, because the receiver's on each end of this connection here. So now I want to power on. That's my mouse pad that I just connected. And I want to power on all these RGB connections. I'm going to just plug them in and then I turn the power on. I happen to have 4 of them. 4 different strips. I didn't give myself much length to play with this here. So now I have every single port taken up. So let's turn on my RGB lighting strips. So all the strips are on. My Blu-ray player is playing. I don't know if most keyboard still works, but we got 7 devices connected. So I'm going to turn this monitor around and we can find out together, because this is a first for me, honestly. I never tried this. Some people do trial and error first and prepare. You know what? Who cares to prepare? Just do it. Just do it. Well, there we go. And since it's the preview, well, previews are not a problem. So there we go. We have our Blu-ray playing. We have our mouse and keyboard connected. So I did find one thing that was kind of odd, connecting my dongle from my USB keyboard and mouse, which not always happened. It depended what port I connected to. No other USB devices did I have this issue with until that dongle. So let me show that part of the video. And it's not working. So let's see what happens if I switch different ports maybe. So I'm moving everything over in case a different port works. And that might be the case. And is it? Yes, it is. So that's one funky thing. It can be a bit finicky what port you use for an I/O device like a USB dongle. Well, what about transfer rates? Well, I did test different devices. I tested my Olympus camera. Right here, maximum speed of a 153 megabytes per second. Transfer rate, usually about 150-ish. Full speed, despite every port being filled up on this hub. Not a problem. What about transferring through USB sticks? These type of sticks. Not a problem. And sadly, this USB 3.1 device, well, tops out at 90 megabytes per second about average. And of course, USB 3.1 is fast in that, but the quality and speed they use in terms of flash drives in this, everyone goes for a price, not for quality. That's what we're limited to. This one went 64 megabytes per second, USB 3.1. But again, thumb drives are not going to give you full speed. And honestly, this leaves me with no way to test how fast this drive can really go. But I do have one thing that's faster. What if I were to connect my Unitech drive that's right down here and connect it to the hub? How fast can I transfer my SSD through here? So right now, I'm after all the different connecting different devices. I actually connected my mouse, keyboard, all my RGB lighting from the back of the monitor, which is about 4 watts, plus this, which is a watt or 2. And, well, it couldn't handle running my Blu-ray drive with this at the same time with everything connected. It just lagged out. It just caused an error for my Blu-ray player. Not a problem in that sense, but that's where it gets to reach the limits. So it can run all my RGB, I can run my mouse and keyboard, and transfer with this connected USB to this USB hub and still do 280 gigabytes per second, megabytes, sorry, 280 megabytes per second with this drive. Of course, the actual transfer rate of this maxes out at about 370 megabytes per second. So that's our limit of the USB 7 port hub when everything is running. That is quite impressive. How about if that was the only thing that's running? Well, then what are you having a USB hub for if that was the only thing that's running? Come on, guys. Let's get serious. A 7-port hub, the point of it is to run a bunch of devices so you can charge your phone and whatever you may want. I've been actually using this for about a week now. Charging my phone and other devices, not a problem at all. I'll charge my lamp that's charged by USB on my head. Charged my cell phone. I charge my Bluetooth devices while running my RGB, not a problem. In conclusion, I recommend not connecting more than 2 information or data transfer devices at the same time to this USB 7.0 hub, because when I connected my Blu-ray device and a mouse and keyboard and then tried my Unitech drive here, I reached its limits and caused, well, corruption on my Blu-ray player, which happened to be a DVD disc inside. So 2 devices is pretty much your safe bet for, say, transferable devices per hub or per USB port. And the rest, power devices, such as charging your phone and other devices are running, well, this doesn't use data, this uses power. So there you go. If you want to power many devices and say 2 devices for transfer, you're good to go. Thank you for watching my review of the Vital 7-port USB 3.0 hub. Have yourselves a wonderful day.
This is not BIOS, tech and hardware.